It is almost the end of 2025, people. So that means we're going to gather our list of things that we will not be doing or things that we will be doing for the coming time. And this is going to be the moment that I'm going to share my list with y'all. All right? Before we get to that, take your snacks, take your drinks, okay? And also subscribe, like, and share the content. All right? Show YouTube that you like this content so that more people get to it. And share this with other people. Okay? There's always an artist around you that needs this type of information. Y'all ready? You got all your snacks? Okay? You situated? Good. Let's start with this video. What is up, good people? Welcome back to MCJ's Art Studio. And here we are back with another video. All right, so let's get started. So in today's video, I actually wanted to talk about a certain number of things that I would not do as an artist. And the reason why I want to do that is for the following. You get to learn as much and as many things that you need to learn as an artist, right? And as soon as you get to the point that you have mastered certain things, I do feel that you have an obligation to share that with your community as well. I am from the practice where we say, teach one, each one teach. If I get to learn something, I get to pass it on so that somebody else doesn't have to make the same mistake. We don't always have to be in a space where we need to gatekeep things. We don't always have to be in a space where we need to keep things to ourselves. Or even worse, that we feel that somebody else has to figure it out for themselves. All right, figure it out because I had to figure it out. I don't think that is a sentiment that's going to help you as a person. No. And I definitely don't believe that it's going to help any other artist that comes to us, behind us, or is walking next to us. We can't help each other do certain things better. Now, here's another thing that I'm going to already spit out from the beginning. Okay, so this is something I'm going to give you for free right now.
Listen carefully.
You'll never be able to walk the same steps that I have walked. That is just not something that's going to happen. However, I can tell you certain things that I've learned, and you can take them whenever and where they apply. So if there are certain things that I have here on my list that I'm going to present to you all that do not apply,
And let it fly.
without further ado, I created a list of 10 things. Footnote, in no particular order. All right, no. So it doesn't mean, one is more important than the other. Can see why some points will have more, they are more poignant. They maybe have more relevance than other ones. But, in general, I think they're all just as important as the other one. And again, take what applies. And maybe better, if there's someone who is an artist, you might be able to share that with them because they might have some points that are on my list that do apply. Please and thank you. So let's start with the first one. Here's the first one that I know is going to trigger a lot of artists, and that is the word social media. Jump scare already? I know social media. It's like a hate and love relationships for a lot of artists because most of what we do has to do with the fact that we just want to create. Whatever comes out of it, we feel that comes out of it that is worthy for the world to see. They get to see it on social media. Social media is just a whole nother beast, and it takes just as much or even more time to create, distribute, and to maintain. So you can understand that most artists, including me, will have a hate and love relationship with it, right? The thing that I would not do is not participate in social media because it's such a strong tool that you need to have in your toolbox in order for you to get your work out there. We don't only have to rely on art galleries, agencies, or other institutions to bring our work forth. And we have noticed that many artists have been very successful using social media as a tool to promote and sell their work. Here's the thing about social media. It is not a consistent formula that you can use each and every single time because of many changes, and it can be the algorithm, the way that they want to show the data and the footage, the way that they're collecting data, of course, from us, um, the way that certain apps are constructed. Everything is so different from each other, which makes it very cumbersome to have one specific formula that can be used for each and every single platform. You do have to alter here and there, but nevertheless, it is a great tool to have. It is a free tool that you can use. Yes, people, it's for free. And it's also a tool that really can help you to navigate through the areas where normally people would not have access to it. Get it? So, yeah, definitely use it. Number two, the thing that I would not do as an artist is that I would not make mistakes. As an artist, I would make all the mistakes that I want to make. With social media, the digital era, AI being more and more part of the digital world that we are living in, even just the contemporary world, the present time that we are living in, it becomes such a pressure to be perfect all the time, right? Perfection. It is almost a requirement before you step into the arena and people get to see what it is that you have to offer, who you are as an artist. But that is so in contrast to what we actually just need to do. And that is, F around. FFO. I think the most beautiful thing that we see about artists is that they are unapologetically themselves. And that means the mistakes that they create, the way that they rebel against society or current genres, thought processes, whatever might be happening right now in the world. And there's a lot happening right now in the world. So there's enough food for thought for you to ravish in that. It is actually our place to play around and to make mistakes and to see why we make the mistakes and why we believe that society is making mistakes. Why do we make mistakes in the way that we think? Why do we make mistakes in the way that we live? And present that to the world as who we are right now in this particular time. That makes it, for me, partially art. So yes, please do that. Nobody's gonna stop. Please do that. And there is no such thing as absolute perfection. Do make mistakes. Do come across certain points on your road and you're like, I don't know if I need to be in this direction, but I'm happy that I know this road. I just don't want to get into that anymore. I'm happy to do this particular style, but you know what? I'm making so many mistakes. I need to go back to the drawing board and see what it is that I'm doing. I need to learn more about who I am so that I do not make the same mistakes on a business level or when it comes to having it. Make the mistakes. You are, yes, an artist, but at the end of the day, you're still a human being. Also at the start and in the middle of it. Number three, the thing that I would not do as an artist is not have a portfolio, okay? I know it's very self-explanatory. Here's the thing that I mean by that. I did not know how important it is to have a portfolio until I started to submit, proposals or started to apply for open calls. Your portfolio has a whole different feel and touch than just showcasing beautiful images, okay? Most people believe that a portfolio is there to have a collection, a curated collection of pieces that show people who they are. That's number one. Secondly, it is of course a curated collection of pieces that show people what you are about. What is it that you create, okay? Number three, it is a well-organized way for many, partners, creative partners, artistic partners that you want to work with to have in their own administration. And I'm really talking about these museums and institutions and agencies that need to have a quick collection of your work in order to present you to their clients or to have you in their art collection or to have you in an art expo. There are so many dimensions to an art portfolio. I wish somebody would explain it to me a lot earlier than just say, well, just have a collection of pictures that you have right now of your art. Did you hear me say that I needed to have a curated collection of pictures? Meaning you also have to have a curated collection of pictures. Curation actually means that you are intentionally looking at pictures of art that really stand out, are strong, and also tell the story of who you are. So you really have to sit down and say, well, what really tells who I am? It doesn't have to be a whole Rolodex, okay? It doesn't have to be a thick book. When you get to hear it in that particular way, you will take your art portfolio a lot more seriously. And you also will not just nilly-willy put anything in it just because you have created. Number 4, the thing that I would not do as an artist is not take on a job. Now, this particular point does have certain parameters. There is a framework that applies to this. For those artists who have that possibility to fully sustain themselves from the art is, of course, a beautiful thing. And for many of us, this is a goal. It's just a goal, okay? If we miss this goal post, it's done. It's a little bit of a dramatization. Not really. It's not done. And that is with the help of having a part-time or full-time. Now, I know that there are artists that say you're not really an artist if you do so. As an artist, you should be able to dedicate all your time and your space to the creation of what you are doing, right? You need to be able to devote yourself to the fullest of energy, time, concentration, and focus that you have, babe. Okay, and that's kind of hard in this 10, 30, and 60 seconds world that we are living in. Yet, I get what it is to lose it, but you got bills.
Don't pay your bills. My bills are paid.
You probably also have responsibilities, even if you don't have any kids, even if it's just you and you alone. You matter. You got to eat. So if you're not at the place where you can say, well, I can fully sustain myself from what I'm doing artistically, creatively, or, at least I can be at a certain level that is comfortable for me, then I would say take on that job. There's nothing shameful about it. There's nothing dishonoring about it. As a matter of fact, I find it very responsible to do that. And I speak from a personal point of view, being a solo mom. I have no reason to hope, back in the day, just to hope that things will just work out fine. No, there is a little human being that I'm taking care of who has not chosen the path that I have chosen and who doesn't really understand that this is a tough path. He doesn't have to understand that it's going to take time for it to balance out and eventually thrive. That is something for me, and I don't find it very responsible. All right, take care of your household, take care of yourself. Have money and food on the table, because we just live in a world where there is this importance and necessity for it. Number 5, the thing that I would not do as an artist is that I would not focus on it. Right now, I'm in a situation where I have a physical injury that I need to recover from. Now, I have to say most of it is pretty much going well, but some of it is still not completely healed. And if you want to know more about it, somewhere here in the corner, you can tap on that box and it will bring you to the backstory of what has happened to me. And this has made me think a lot about the fact, well, was I maybe taking a little bit too much, on me, on these shoulders, too much work on these shoulders? Was I maybe doing too much? I have a hard time right now really settling into the fact that I just need to take it slow, really take my time, not stress myself out. But it's also a good time to say, well, you're not just an empty vessel that just constantly needs to produce. You are a human being. And I will be saying this constantly throughout this video and also in many other videos. You're a human being. You also need to focus on you. And that means be above being an artist, you're also a human being. That comes first all the time. So whenever you're not feeling good, whenever you're not feeling great, when things are not being peachy perfect, I just have to take into consideration that I cannot jeopardize my own life in any possible way. I need to come first always. The thing that I would not do as an artist is not have a network offline. Okay, I know it's very lucrative for many artists to, get online and sell their artwork. Why not? It's easy. People can get to you really fast. We know what the benefits of them are. But the thing is, and what I've also noticed, and I think in any entrepreneurial business endeavor, is that you do have to have that ability to talk to people, speak with people, connect with people. A lot of what we do is based on a subjective perspective, if you know what I mean. People look at it and they get an idea with it, or they don't get an idea with it. People would like to work with you, but they don't know how to approach you, or vice versa. You have something to offer and you needed to make it focal to people so that they can see more than just you being fill in the blank, right? Whatever artistic, creative function that you have that is producing a particular output, they don't always see possibilities for you to cross certain barriers or be a multidisciplinary artist, or work intersectionally in different market segments. or have a more commercial feel to what it is that you do. But for right now, just know that many of the connections and the relationships that you are building with other people outside of social media, outside of the digital world, is just as important, if not more important, than the ones that you do online. Because people will easier tell somebody else about you, right? If they like you, if they like the work that you create, if they've worked before with you and you are on time and you deliver what it is that you do, you show to be someone who puts in the effort, they will talk about you with other people in spaces where you are not there. Now, if that is not a business card, then I don't know what is. All right. So listen, the time of the business cards and that we're just exchanging them cards and being like, well, this is who I am. Not to say that business cards are not applicable or should be banned. It is kind of redundant, right? What people are now looking for is, who are you? What is it that you can do? And how can we connect and work with each other? That same speed that we are finding now in the digital world is definitely also applicable in the physical world. So the faster you get to focalize who you are and what you can do and how you want to work with other people, the better networks that you can create. And it doesn't always have to be vertical. It can also be horizontal, right? You can work with the people next to you because you don't know who has who in their network horizontally. And most of the times we think that we all do the same thing. True. So definitely create a network outside of the digital world. The next thing that I wouldn't do as an artist is not show my work public, okay? I already created a video where I talked about what the consequences and also the reasons might be of you not wanting to show your work publicly. So please tap here somewhere in the corner and go watch that video, or place it in your watch later list here on the platform. You can watch it later and see what the reasons are for that. But one thing that I can mention here very succinctly, people cannot love who they do not know. People cannot follow who they do not know. Okay, so it is important for people to hear about you, to see about you. You have a place in the world. What I've mostly noticed in reading people's comments or talking to people, and you will definitely see that in the video that I've tagged in the corner, is that people are afraid of what other people got to say. We became very sensitive, right? Very sensitive people. And even though I'm also a pretty sensitive person, I have learned to have a barrier that allows me to discern what matters and what doesn't matter. But what it will not, withhold me of doing is share my work with people so that they get to see it. All right. I need for you to see it because I have a place in the world. I believe that. So as long as you have that in your mind as well, please share your work with the public. The thing that I would not do as an artist is not ever experiment with art styles and art mediums. I have been doing that for the longest. And even though I have found my place in oil paint, I absolutely love it. Sometimes I hate it. But let's say for 95%, I absolutely love it. I think it's a beautiful medium. I think it expresses in a poetic way, my soul the best. I still sketch. Y'all see me sketch. I take the pen, I take the markers, I take the pencils. Please, we got to do what we got to do. And if I feel like it, I want to feel like it. I don't believe that people should put themselves in one box. Listen, just because somebody else believes that they cannot do it and they only can focus on one particular thing, that doesn't mean that I have to. Maybe I have the great ability to do both or plenty. Maybe I have the great ability to hone into both and not feel ashamed for that or feel that I cannot focus on that. Oh, please and believe, I focus very well. I do want you just to experiment with things that draw your curiosity, not just your attention, but your curiosity. So things that will make you question what you are looking at, what you are experimenting with. Why do you want to experiment with it? Does it have an out, what is the output? Do you want to do something with it? Or is it just something for yourself? Things that constantly tickle your curiosity. This can also be done with subjects. Maybe you were someone who always focused on creating portraits of people, and now you want to go in a whole different route. You want to do photography of the city. It is very important to have that curiosity for what is out there. What's the story? How does it do it? And not everything has to be monetized, okay? Not everything has to be in publication. I understand, even though my previous point was to share your work, not everything has to be shared. Certain things will overflow into other disciplines that you are having. The fact that I love dance and I love music will overflow in how I create my art. The fact that I love to, do photography. And y'all have never seen me do anything with photography. Y'all have never seen me do anything. I hardly talk about this, but it's something that I love for myself. For now, I have no purpose to share that with other people, but it is something that I've done for a long time and still want to do that. It draws my curiosity to see people through a, no pun intended, different lens. And it overflows itself also in the way that I see my work, the vibrancy, the accuracy, things that I want people just to pay attention to. It helps to have that same resemblance in that. So please keep doing that, all right? And don't let yourself be discouraged what other people have to say. Some people are good at focusing on one particular thing, and others are really great, juggling plenty of other things. It is what it is, babe. Now, here's one thing that I would not do, and that is copy other people's work. All right, be careful with this. Now, here's the thing. I do believe in the beginning stages of or even in the middle stages of your career as an artist, creative, you get to have moments where you do copy people's work, especially if you're a novice and you're just starting out. You get to copy people's work. Look at art student, art academica. When they are in these classes and they have to look at people's work or they have to sketch something, most of the time, this is copying other people's techniques and work, okay? This is to study and therefore to create, let's say, a basket of all talents that you can possess and how you can implement that in your own line of work. Hence, your own line of work, your own authentic line of work, your own unique line of work. You heard what I said, right? So this doesn't mean that because you are inspired by a Basquiat, that we now have to see 10,000 different diversifications of Basquiat. I don't want to see it. I really don't want to see it. I don't. I think that you then are taking it way too far. Okay? I don't want to see all diversifications of cause. I don't want to see all diversification of a Rembrandt. I don't want to see, oh, Jesus. I don't want to see all of those things. I want to see who you are. And I know why a lot of people are, let's say just the art world. Let me just say it as it is. The art world just gets in the up and up and be like,
oh, they are so wonderful and they're so inspired. It's like a new renaissance of this particular artist or that particular art.
Child, please. I'm sorry. It's just not original. And I know there are going to be people just disagreeing with me, which is fine. Absolutely fine. But I do believe that it's just not serving you as an artist if you cannot show who you are. It's not serving you at all. This is something that I definitely would not do as an artist, and that is not set up a website, okay? Not set up a website. I know they cost money, they cost time, and you need to manage them. Or you need to find somebody who wants to manage it for you, or you need to find somebody who wants to create one for you and manage them, and you also have to pay for them. Anyway, time, management, and effort comes into play. And with the time that you need to create the things that you want to create, it doesn't always happen. It's not going to be a happy marriage. It's not going to mingle. The reason why I am saying do have a website, even if it's somebody else who is managing it for you. So this is not a debate about yes, you should do it, or somebody else needs to do it. I don't care. Please. You have a central point where people get to come, directly to you, to your work, what it is that you have to offer. Having middlemen in between is, of course, also a possibility because you have those websites where people can, you just pay for your spot. Saatchi is, for instance, a good example of that. Artsy is also something like that. But then for galleries can opt to join Artsy and therefore show their collection to art collectors. But you have to pay for that spot. There are certain conditions to have, to be part of that spot. And the thing that you don't have to think about is, of course, maybe the CMS. You don't have to think about marketing that much because most of the things will be marketed by the website themselves. But and however, there will always be a middleman in between. Yes, there will always be a middleman between. But if there's something that you like, then great. That's also a way of having a website. If you can't have your own, that is even better because you get to dictate how you'll look, how your website is going to look. You get to dictate how people can contact you and also what you want to put out on that. And very important, when people pay for your work, you get to collect that, all of it. All right. Now, these are the things that I've put on my list, which I would not do. as an artist. Of course, if there are any other points that you have on your list, I would like to know that. Curious for that. So place it here below in the comment section and have a look at it. We can share it with each other and we can all learn from each other, right? Each one, teach one. That is it. That is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed this particular video. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So see you next time. Bye-bye, y'all.